the Meeting Your Soul podcast. I'm Farah, your host, and today I have my friend Destiny here, who is a mompreneur extraordinaire who has a few different businesses underneath her belt and manages all of that while still maintaining kind of taking care of the fam bam, two little girls who are absolutely freaking adorable.
Thank you. There are my, oh my gosh, my little divas, but I love them so much. They're so sweet, I swear. They're smart, just so funny, and yeah, my little besties.
Well, it's like so great to be able to see. I always say that about Bella, our daughter, because they're like, I'm like, she's just, sass for days. And people are always like, well, Farah. And I'm like, oh, wait, are you did she learn this from me?
They're like, did you forget who's your mom? In good ways. In good ways.
Only good ways.
Yes.
So that I was thinking about the powerhouse that you are. And there's no way that you wouldn't instill that within you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Always. And just to be able to dive into the conversation of motherhood and like maintaining individuality, running businesses, just doing all the things while still holding it down on the home front, which I think could be a challenge. And especially as we navigate life and things shift and change and we grow as individuals, that also evolves over time.
Yeah. And just taking care of two little humans it's fun, but like you said, just constantly evolving and still keeping your identity as a mom and figuring out your place and where you want to be, and just balancing it all it's a lot, but it's fun. It's a journey, and I think that's truly what life is a journey. So
it is.
Yeah.
And I would love, thank you. Perfect segue.
Yeah.
Like, what has been your journey kind of leading up to this point in your life? And even within becoming a mom and how that like has changed and how that has like kind of helped mold where you're at nowadays.
I mean, I come from a large family that majority of us are women. So I have women in my family who I look up to, and then some of them are learning experiences in maybe negative ways. But also positive. And I know, coming from a family who's also not from this country, it was really hard for them to navigate life, and learning from them and their struggles has really shaped me who I am today. So yeah, it's interesting to see like how families grow and what their stories are, and how you pass this along to the next generation and the next generation. And I feel like for me as a mom now, just learning from all of my aunts, my mom, my grandma, everyone, and trying to taking all of that and making it my own has been the journey for me, really. But coming into motherhood was scary at the time. When I first found out I was going to be a mom, it wasn't planned, that's for sure, with my first one. So it was scary, but that's when it kind of hit me like, hey, this is a serious thing. Like, your life is going to change. And for me, it changed in all the best ways for the better for me. So, yeah.
So how did you find out? What was kind of like, I was like, hold on. I was like, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, I know. You're like,
right now. I was like, you're gonna need some more details, please.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna share this story. But Victor, my husband, he's gonna be like, this girl. She got me. So Victor and I, we have been friends. We were best friends first before we got together. And, it was one of those things where I didn't want to date anyone. I was living my best in single life with my girlfriend. And I always was auntie. My brother had kids, and I was like the auntie in the family. And Victor comes along, and I'm just like, this guy will not leave me alone. He's like, I want to take you to dinner. I want to go out, do all these things. And I'm like, I'm good. But we just had such a great time together that it really just molded into like this great friendship, and then like a relationship. But after like a year of dating, I literally always have taken birth control since high school. Birth control, I've been on it. So there was literally one weekend where I ran out. I ran out for the weekend, and I was, I think, in my early 20s at this time. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get my refill on Monday. I should be fine. I've been taking it for years, and it was just that is the dumbest thing. Birth control does not work like that.
Be warned.
Be warned, did not follow this mistake. And I'm like, we're good, we're good. No, it wasn't. And I actually didn't know I was pregnant until almost 2 months fully being pregnant.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't really have any of the crazy symptoms. I was just tired, if anything. But there was one day where it was like a week straight. I literally was so tired I couldn't even get up. And I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
And then the period cycle missed, and I'm like, okay, this is really weird. What's going on now?
You're like, I'm on birth control, so why would this be coming up?
Exactly. So then I decided to take a pregnancy test, and that's when I found out I was pregnant. And we were both in college, and we're like, what are we gonna do? Like, this is gonna change our whole life. And we were in our phase of festival seasons, going out with our friends, the whole party time, and it just transitioned into, we need to get our shit together. We need to buy a house. We need to do all the things that a parent should be doing. So we actually snapped into parent mode really quickly. And for that, I am truly thankful, because a lot of people can't do that. They still continue, the party phase and doing all those things, and which is okay to a certain extent, but yeah, we really just figured out our lives quickly.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm just like recognizing, I think that's that moment when the priorities shift.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
exactly.
like we could keep going down this road, and a lot of people do, because they don't want to necessarily, I don't want to say grow up, because like you can have fun at any stage or kind of do that within your life. But at the same time, it's like, what's most important, and it's creating a good environment and fostering
foundation
for a new little one,
a whole human. And we were very excited but scared. And we were in our 20, I think Victor was 22 and I was 23. So
wow.
Yeah. So
that must have been a huge shock though.
It was, and telling our parents, oh my God, my mom, I don't know that this woman is just, I called her one day and I was like shaking on the phone, and I'm like, hey mom, how you doing? And she's like, I'm good, how are you? And I'm like, do you want to grab dinner this weekend? And she was like, as long as you don't tell me you're pregnant, sure. And I was like, you told her? And he's like, I didn't say anything. And I'm like, that was the strangest thing. Like, it's true when they say mothers have like a sixth sense of things. And I was like, I know, and all I said was, mom, I just want to go to dinner. And I'm like, damn, does that mean I never asked my mom to dinner? She's like, what did you gotta tell me to go to dinner?
They're actually a lot more aware if you ask him around,
right? I'm like, how did you know? I was shaking. I was like, ha ha, laughing on the phone. And we went to dinner, and I told her, and she's like, I knew it. I knew it. That like the tone of your voice, I don't know. Maybe I was shaking. Mom, I have to tell you something. I don't know, but I told my mom. Victor told his parents, and at the time, Victor and I were actually living with his parents in our 20s while we were going to school. And we would think, damn, they're gonna kick us out, but no, they were like, you guys, this is a huge step in life, and we're here to support you. I always cry when I think about it, because without them, like, I don't know where we would be. They were just so supportive. So so that's kind of like where we led. Sorry, I didn't mean to cry. I just think about it now.
I was like literally on the brink of tears the whole time talking about this.
I just didn't expect the like open armness with them, and they were just so great. I love them, all of our parents. Like, they were supportive in every way, and they're like, we're going to be here to support you. It's going to be scary. Parenthood is hard, but you guys will get through this, and you have us to help you. So it was nice. So
like to be able to have that as the foundation to work from, and also like have that as an example to know, like, and I'm sure you'll never forget that, like, especially if the girls go through some tumultuous times throughout their life, to be like, we got you, and we want you to be able to share this with us, and we're here for you.
Exactly, because I was so terrified. Victor was, I remember we were in our room, because they have a tri-level house, and we rented out all the downstairs as its own living room, and he's like, let's go upstairs and tell them right now. He dragged me up there, and I was like, I'm so scared. We've only been dating for like a year. Like, oh God, what's gonna go? Like, I was so many things. So
what's gonna be the reaction? What are they gonna think of me? And I think it's like, I don't know why. It's
we're
like
not married
yet. You're just like, I should know. Like, it's like all these things go through your mind.
So many things, but it was definitely a journey. Back to the journey.
Well, and so then, like, how did How did that go then? Like, how did you like make it through? Like,
So next steps from that, yeah, Victor, we finished school. Victor, San Jose State, Victor graduated. He got his degree in psychology. I was working still. I had the mindset of I was going to be in a hospital, being a nurse. Did that. You know, I worked in the ER all through COVID, and that's when I realized like this isn't for me. And then when we did, we were looking at homes in California. I was like, let's just do a fresh new start. We're going to start a family. Let's start in a new state, which I used to live in Florida too, before I met Victor. Yeah. And I was like, let's just try a new state. I was very adventurous. I loved living in different places, new settings, meeting new people. And we tried Arizona, didn't want to move there, came to Washington, and I'm like, okay, this feels like home. We were really big on outdoorsy stuff, like going on hikes. And so once we came here, we bought our first house, and we created this foundation, a new start for us here, just the three of us, because it was my oldest, Victoria. And then once Victoria was 4 years old, that's when we planned for my second one.
We planned this. Let's coordinate.
We planned this. Stopped taking my birth control. Literally got pregnant right away. It was like, let's have a kid. Okay, like in a week. I was just, it's crazy. It's scary actually. I'm like, murder over here. Oh my gosh. And which I'm very, very grateful for, because I know that's a struggle for some women. Yeah. So, and then we had Violet. Now it's the four of us. So Victoria's 7 now, going to be 8 in December, and then Violet is 4 years old. Yeah, so 7 and 4, 2 girls, and they're just my little besties, and we have fun now. And just thinking of the journey back then of becoming a parent, it was so scary. I mean, it kind of is scary now sometimes.
I was like, it's so scary that you plan it or don't plan it. Because even if you think you have it all figured out, or that even if you've done it before, it's like you just never really know what life, the curveballs is kind of throwing you. And so you really want to do the best for your children.
That's the best, yeah. And it's just, I feel like I tell my friends who are my age too, are in their early 30s, and they're, don't have kids yet. They want to have kids, and they're like, Des, what is it like? And I'm like, I'm gonna be so real with you right now. I feel like I'm winging it every day. Like, I feel like there's no book, there's no nothing. Like, you just learn as you go, and they're evolving, you're evolving. We're all just human, and it's just, you're just got to be there in the best way to support them, just like our parents have been. So, yeah.
Well, like showing up authentically and just like being yourself, teaching them the lessons, the hard lessons, having the conversations, and it sounds like having a great partner.
Yes.
Too,
oh gosh.
Be there.
Yeah. Honestly, me and Vic, like, I feel like we're so different, but we're so the same. It's really strange. It's like we have the same goals in life, and we just laugh about the same stupid stuff. Like, he's such a goofball too, but he's very driven. And, we both have these goals that we want to achieve in life. And I just feel like if you don't have that partner, like it's really hard to navigate through things. Like, my mom was a single mom. And I look at my life now as having Victor and having this family and just 2 kids. My mom had 4. And I was just thinking, like, damn, how did this lady do it? Like, by herself, working 2 jobs. Like, she'd wake up 5 a.m., work her shift, I think it was 8 hours, and then literally drive to her next job. And it was just, I wouldn't see my mom. When I was maybe 10, like a lot of my childhood actually, it was really hard because she just had to work to, bring food to the table, a roof over our head, all the things. And I just can't imagine doing that right now. So there's a lot of appreciation for that. And at the time as a kid, I didn't understand it, but as an adult and a mom now, I do. So yeah,
it makes it a lot more real, because then you're like, you did this, like, ultimately they did it for us.
Yeah.
Right. And like, you're like, where are you? Why aren't you around? It's like, because like, who, like, I'm working my butt off so that you can like have food
have
and
this
that
life.
have this life that like I'm solely responsible for. And the amount of pressure that comes along with that, like, a lot. What did she do? What was her job?
So my mom, she's still to this day, she's still working. She works in social services. So she works a lot with the county, the courthouse, a lot of very heavy job roles. And I think growing up to her job did take a toll on her, because it's just, it's emotionally, mentally, physically draining. And back home, traffic is crazy. So she'd spend a lot of her time driving in traffic. It was a lot for her. And I just wish, like, as a teenager, I understood that. I think it was more, you're young, you're still a kid, you understand, or you don't understand at the time. Like, my mom's not here, but now as an adult, I realized, like, everything she did, she tried as much as she could, and now as an adult, I appreciate it so much more. So I see her now, but back then it was really hard. I didn't feel that way back then. It was like, I have two younger sisters, so I kind of grew up pretty quickly, like at a young age. I had to cook around the house, cleaning, going to and from school. So doing a lot of that and kind of being a mother at a very young age. So it was hard, but I've learned a lot from it. So that was a lot.
Well, and I think it shapes a lot of, and it probably, and I, not to bring light of it, but like now being a mom, like that gave you some experience, like, and just like the amount of toll and like the everyday work of like showing up for littles and making sure that they're fed and that they're like taken care of and they're taking their baths and they're doing all things. Like my sisters, I'm the youngest of 4 girls and single mom too, and so like. I was thinking about, I was like, my eldest sister, she took care of us so much. Like, I remember I was cooking dinner for us and she had kids young, and I think she felt equipped to do that because she, like, kind of ran it because my mom was working. Like, I think people that have the luxury of having 2 parents growing up, which, God willing, everyone can have that. But like, if you don't, like, you recognize that everyone has to play a part because like one person truly cannot do all of it. It's just impossible.
It's impossible. It's a lot. And so like you said, and the things that she wasn't there for, I realized like what she were working was a huge part of why she wasn't there, but it's just she had to do it. She had to provide for us, because if she didn't, we really wouldn't have anything. So and I'm just grateful for my siblings. I'm sure you're close to your siblings too, because while she was gone, we created this strong bond, just being together at home, laughing together, cracking jokes. But I did feel bad for my mom though. Some days she'd come home with like a broken window, and it's like thinking of it now, I'm like, that's like the last like stress thing that she needed, and I love my brother, my older brother, because he'd always take the blame for everything. And I'm just like, thank God. Thanks, bro. Yeah, he got us. But it was definitely a crazy household for us. Yeah.
No, I think of like, we had some wild shit going on in the house. So sometimes because it's like, we're all there, and and then you think of like when you were 16, you thought you had it all figured out. And you like I'm so responsible. I'm an adult. I'm pretty much an adult.
Yeah, I'm
like,
working now. I got my work permit from high school.
I make my own money. Like,
$100 check. Got it. Yeah, that's true.
Like you have this like independence, and like I think again it helps. I think it allows us to grow up a little bit faster, and that we weren't sheltered, but at the same time, like I remember when Bella was it was like her first year of life. I remember I called my mom. I always have these moments times, but I called my mom and I was like, thank you so much. And she was like, for what? And I was like, keeping me alive, feeding me all day, like not sleeping, like just to like keep me like to make sure that I was all right, changing my diaper. Like, like just like the little things that like, especially when we're so young, we don't know, and so then when we get older, and when you actually do it yourself, you're like, damn, like she was doing this all day long. Like,
all day, every day.
All day, every day. 4 kids deep. Like, I can't even imagine.
I can't imagine too. Like, I have 2, and I'm just like, there's no way. Victor's talking about 3rd. I'm like, nope, absolutely not. Not right now. I'm good.
Do you want to carry it? Exactly.
Oh gosh.
Well, like, how did so I think we've kind of delved into this a little bit, but like throughout, like, how does this like contribute to like even understanding yourself on a deeper level?
Oh gosh, I feel like I learned so much about myself with having the girls. Patience. I have learned so much patience. Like, oh my God, like I just like if we're I don't know, an example, like I just said something and they ask the same thing that I just said, and it's just like little things like that. Patience for sure. And just
whenever Bella does that, I go, honey, did you just ask mommy that question?
Yeah.
And she's like, I was like, what was my answer? And then she's like, no.
Then don't ask.
It's fun, as I say this.
Like my teeth are like, what did it say?
So you just wrap that up. And I keep doing the same thing over and over. And I'm like, well, she's not saying this after a while, but we're patience. We're gonna learn.
It is so hard. Like I'm working on that even more to this day. Like right now, I'm just being honest. My house is a disaster. Like laundry is everywhere because we're busy. We're out. We're doing things. We're working. We go to gymnastics, to soccer, to all the things. And it's like, oh my God, I can't have my house like clean. And I'm like, I'm trying to teach them like I shouldn't have to clean your toys. Like you guys should learn how to organize your stuff.
Yeah.
If you play with something, put it back.
Yeah.
It's so like just little things like that. And they're really just like, well, well, my 4-year-old, she literally told me, but you can get it. You can pick it up. And I'm just like, my eyes start touching and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Deep breath, like Violet, please pick up your toys. And I remember my mom telling me, don't do that huffing and puffing or the attitude or the fine kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she does that now. And I'm like, oh my God, like same thing. I should call my mom. I get it now. I get it.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. Or like whispering something under your breath. And like Victoria does that a lot.
Really?
My older one, like she'll say, what I have to do. And I'm like, Victoria, like, and I just start laughing because it's so funny because I remember doing that as a kid too. So I can't even be mad. It's just, it's funny how they just think, and it's literally so simple. Like, just put your toys away, Victoria. You want to go somewhere? You want to go somewhere fun? Okay, help mommy clean your stuff.
Yeah, we have to clean up before we leave.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, it's gonna be messy.
And it's gonna be messy.
I was like, or we're gonna trip and fall. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, before you play with another toy, you need to pick up your first
Yeah.
toy. But Bella does the same. Like,
Yeah.
Mom. And I'm like, look at me.
Yeah. Being serious.
Being serious.
Pick up your toys. Please. I'm learning to say please and thank you with them too, because I didn't get that a lot as, you know, as a parent, or apologizing for something that I did, or I hurt their feelings. Yeah, so it's really hard to just work on that every day, like just myself, because I'm like trying to remember thinking back like, as a kid, what did I think, what did I feel, and just trying to implement that into like their growing up. So
that's actually really admirable though, because I think a lot of people don't, like, they're kind of like, this is what needs to happen, and you kind of bypass like, how did this make me feel when I was younger? What did I experience?
Or my mom would say, what did she say, because I said so.
Yeah,
I don't say like, I don't say that, I actually explain why. Like, Victoria, you have to go to bed at 7, you have to wake up very early in the morning. Why? Not because I said so, but because you're gonna be tired. You're gonna be, do you want to feel tired at school? And then she's like, no, like, and she'll,
less of a fight, or hopefully it's less than a fight.
Yeah, it is. And then she's like, it's okay. She said this the other day. She's like, Mom, it's okay if I'm tired, because someone in her class, a little boy, she's like, he got to take a nap in class because he was tired. They're in 2nd grade. I'm like, nap time? She said, well, he told the teacher I'm tired. And the teacher said, okay, you can take a 15-minute nap, but he slept for 1 hour. I'm just like, yeah, no, you're not taking a nap in class, you're still going to bed. And it's just funny, like we're having this full-on debate on going to bed every day. It's actually every day. Almost every day. Yeah. Or can we sleep with you, please? I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wait, I had a full conversation about that last night. And she goes, but mommy, the shadows, they get kind of scary and they look like fingers.
Oh god. I'm like, I was like really scared now too. It's like,
I understand that might be scary. That's I'm gonna word that. I think you want to turn up the light so that's a little bit brighter in your room. And she was like, no, I just really want you to lay with me, or I want to lay in your bed. And I was like, okay, so
and then give me a massage.
And then can you rub my neck?
That's my bed.
But it's like, you want to raise critical reasoning, like, you want to be able to instill critical reasoning and like just like independence and thinking out of the box and being like the innovate, like all those things. I admire that. I want her to possess those things. And like you said, like, I don't want to say because I said so, but at a certain point, like, it's not up for debate. This is not up for negotiation. She goes, she just used that word. She goes, can we negotiate? I was like,
she heard too many of your phone calls.
I know, like dad the same way, and I was like, oh dear God, I heard your 4-year-old asking if we can negotiate. It's concerning, but
I feel it. It's true. Everything's like a debate. Everything is a debate. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. that's why I said every day is different. You learn things every day. It's a lot, but it's fun and it teaches you things about yourself that you probably would have never known. So one of them, going back to the question, patience is key for me, and taking it day by day. And just not even motherhood, life in general. Work, everything.
The impermanence of it all. And just recognizing like tomorrow could be a brand new day. Completely different. And like, how can I take this in? And appreciate the little things too. Right? I feel like you're really good at that. I think you, at least like, you know, in the times that we spend together, you're just like a very, like, I think you notice the magic of like life around you and the little simple joys. And
I
like,
do.
the romance of it all. And I think that keeps us at least like hopeful and like in a good space to be able to like, life is fun.
It is.
It's good. Life is good.
It is.
Shit might be a little rough right now.
It is.
I might have to be negotiating.
No, I agree. I do feel like that. Just being positive in every aspect of life, and you know, everything, it's so cliche to say, but everything happens for a reason. And you learn from people, from things, just energies, and really even who you surround yourself with too. I know when I became a mom, I actually, like, I don't know about you, but a lot of my friends disappeared. I've had one true best friend who I love her to death. Her name's Jackie. She has been there for me even before children. She's just been like my literal best friend, savior, and everything. And it really helps to have, you know, at least just one person to be there for you. So yeah, it takes a tribe to really grow. It takes a village for sure. Like,
well, and like to help with the kiddos, but also just with your own sanity.
And own sanity, and just being who you are and figuring out your own path and your own identity, going back to that. And
and that's like what kind of prompted me to even think of this. Is like, how do you maintain your own identity? And like, I know you said, you know, having that core group, you know, that core girl group, I think is like helpful, just because like I know that there was a period of time where like I didn't necessarily like prioritize friendship because like there was a million other things grabbing at my attention all the time. Right? And so it's like being able to, I'm just gonna turn off. Is this my breath break alarm?
Inhale.
I know, deep breath in. And out. Some people I do this, people always laugh at me. I'm like, never.
I do that too. I have to.
111 and 444. Because it's usually times where I'm like doing like the most. And so it's like pause, take a breather, reset.
I love it.
Be able to approach it from a more conscious place. But so back into this conversation. Like, how do you like stay destiny? Stay focused? Like, how do you maintain that for yourself?
It was really hard to come to a place to just be in my own space and figure out my own identity, even prior to having children, but during and after. A lot of it was my health journey. I was overweight after Victoria. I did go into postpartum depression after Victoria, just because it was new to me. It was my first time being a mom. Just that whole year was really a blur. I was very overweight. I was always tired. I worked that 12-hour shift at my hospital job that I just wasn't happy or fulfilled in that job. So there was a lot going on during that time. And once, I don't even remember which day it was, but I just had a day where I was like, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to live like this. And I don't want my daughter to see me like this. So that's when I changed everything from what I ate. I worked out all the time. Well, not all the time, but like at least 4 to 5 times a week.
That's all the time.
Yes. Well, every day.
That's a long 4 to 5. That is pretty much every day. I don't care what it says.
Yeah, I worked out. I drank my water. I didn't do that. I didn't realize, drink your water. And I realized like, damn, I am dehydrated. I need to start drinking more water. I changed my sleeping habits. Alcohol, I cut back a lot. Cause honestly, I love it socially, but it didn't do me any good really. And I love my wine every now and then, but not as.
It doesn't do anyone really that
It
good.
doesn't. And, I just changed all of my habits, or if you would call them habits, or just the things that I was doing at that time. And
lifestyle.
Lifestyle. And I just slowly started feeling better about myself. Like I loved like the way that I felt when I worked out. I loved the way that I looked and how I I just had more of like a self-confidence feeling and self-love. I journaled a lot. I journaled actually growing up a lot too. I was a big writer. I was like the artsy kind of kid. I love doing art stuff. Light Bright was my thing. Oh my gosh, that was like my favorite. So it's just doing all those things that brought me joy, and just continuing to do them as a mom. It's hard. You, like you said, creating that balance of just juggling everything. It's hard to find the time, but I've learned to really make time. If it's waking up earlier than when they wake up, or if it's, you know, just staying up a little bit later, I try not to do it, but just to have my own time of just like peace, quiet, like me mom time.
Decompression.
Yes.
Decompressing from the day and like from everything else, and just to have like a peaceful moment to you.
I think it's important, and in the beginning I did not do those things.
I think it's such a shift, it's such a change when you first become a mom, because I remember that first year I was like, I'm no longer the most important thing to myself, and I never will ever be that again, literally for the rest of my life. She's always like, and maybe not everyone feels this way, but this is how I looked at becoming a mom, was like, she will now be my highest priority in all that I do. Number one. And like but I still kept like really bad habits from like I think pregnancy, like eating wise and just not exercising as much, and just like, and you're always exhausted. So it was just like, it was the combination of all of it. And I just didn't, I remember that first year, I was like, I didn't really feel that great about myself. And just getting back into my body and like, and you have a whole new body, and it's completely different than what it was before.
Mom bod. I've learned to embrace it. That's for sure. Like, I've lost a lot of weight, but I still have that pouch. Victoria, actually, she was I had an emergency C-section with her. With Violet, I gave birth just naturally with Violet. But just having that scar there, that's always going to be there. I've always hated it. But as I get older, I'm like, this is literally life. This is motherhood. This is what it comes with. And now I'm out on the beach, like, walking around like, this is me.
And I'm like, damn, we're gonna
shake it.
Literally.
Yeah. And I was so uncomfortable in the beginning, but then, and you know what society puts, you know, moms in a box, or, you know, that model person that everyone wants to be like on social media. It's hard, but at the end of the day, I'm like, that's not real life. It's not, you know, a lot of people think that's what, you know, you should look like. And I feel like everyone's just beautiful the way they are, and just embrace it. Really. I've learned to do that. It's hard, but
well, it sounds like a journey of self-acceptance, to be able to like, okay, I don't like these qualities about my life right now, so I'm going to do what I can to change them, to create a sustainable and healthy space for me to thrive. And then whatever transcends from that is what I guess is meant for me.
And that's exactly how I still continue to try and practice that. And that's a lot. It's a lot of work. And like you said, it's exhausting. It's really like, there are days where I do absolutely nothing. And I'm like, it's okay to have those days. Like, actually yesterday was my day that I did that.
Speaking of, this was just
yesterday. And you know, the weather too. I love the fall. I love it. And coming from California, moving to Washington, it was a hard adjustment. I'm so used to the sun, and like today is absolutely beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. But yesterday it was just rain, clouds. And I'm like, oh, this actually is really comforting, because I just don't want to do anything. I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to put makeup on. I don't want to get dressed. And literally, I just hung out with Violet. I just at home. I deep cleaned a little bit, and it was just nice to do nothing. And I felt like, because it's always the, you know, hustle and bustle of life and working and, you know, trying to be there for others and showing up and doing all the things. But I think it's important to take those days to just do nothing.
Taking breaks, to be able to recharge in the power of rest. I think it's underestimated, especially within our culture as a whole. Like this, like, go get her, do, go around. It's like, that's great. And I think for me to be able to really go as much and like put in as much effort and to accomplish as much as I need to, I have to take a day off
and just recharge.
And like, and that way when I do enter those situations, I'm quicker, I'm more like capable, and I'm like more enthusiastic. In general. I try to do one day, which I don't always do, but I try to do one day where I don't leave my house.
Okay.
That's like
that was my day yesterday.
yeah, I
I
was
was like, should I keep it 2 days? No, it feels nice.
I like this a lot. I was like, and it's like you don't get dressed, like you just are in your like Jerry's. I'm like, no makeup. My niece came. It was Monday, and I like I worked from home, but I like didn't do anything, and so at the end of the day, she was like, she got a ride over, and I was like, she's like, can you drive me home? I was like, this is the only time I'm leaving today. Yeah. It's like 9 p.m. and I was like, I have all day, so I'm gonna say it still counts.
Yeah, that was literally me. And okay, I had to get my coffee though. I ran out of I have the Nespresso, so I ran out of the pods. And I'm like, am I really gonna DoorDash to Starbucks right now? Absolutely did. I was like, the best $12 like on this coffee. I was like, and Violet, the dasher comes to the door. He has a bag of Starbucks. Mommy, you can order Starbucks delivery? She's never seen it. And then she's like, let me see. And I opened the bag. It's just a grande, like iced coffee. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, Victor, he was like, I cannot believe you just did that. I was like, I did not want to leave the house. Like, that was just my day.
It's like, it's called balance.
It is,
it's
right?
called balance, okay?
I was a little ashamed, but I did it. I was like, whatever.
Fuck that.
I like that shit up. I was like, oh. Thank you, Jesus.
There's something about having that fresh coffee. It's right now. You're like, I don't have it, and like I've been brewing my own coffee. I've been doing like a single cup, like at the and I have this really good coffee I just got from Baltimore. Anyways, it's been bringing me a lot of joy. But if I like a cup of some type of caffeinated beverage in the morning.
I have to. I literally have to.
And it's a ritual. It is like one of my things that just like makes me feel like I come alive. It just like it validates me at the beginning of the day. It's my simple truth, goddammit. And
I'm gonna judge it. Do you want mommy to be happy?
Do you want mommy to be happy?
Yeah.
I know I didn't get one before I left it.
Yeah, that's why on my way here I was like, Farrah, I'm sorry I'm gonna be late. I didn't get my coffee. This is my first coffee today.
I had zero emotion. I was like, I feel you. I actually
take your time.
Take your time.
Thank you.
I was like, bless you. I was like, thank you for coming over today.
Yeah.
I was like, a little bit, but I think those are the little things, those little treats that we can give ourselves to be able to. We give so much. All the time. To be able to give ourselves that same grace and a little bit of love, like I think allows us to continue and to come. Like I saw this like one like video, and it was like 4 different like water pails or like water like spouts that like when you water your garden. And it was like there was the hose that was coming into one of them, and it's like live your life as filling up from overflow, and it was like flowing into the next person or into the next like little bin, and then it went through, and I was like, you know what, this is like a really good like visual for like instead of coming from a place of lack, like only give from a place of abundance. Like I have so much energy and love to give that I'm able to pass that on to you. Not because I feel obligated, not because I feel like I have to, but because I want to, and because I have the resources readily available.
I love that.
And I think moms, like we are the martyrs, you know, it's like sacrifice is so much like the pivotal part of like the description of a mother. And it's like, do I want to teach that to my daughter? Do I want her to put herself last all the time? Or do I want to teach her that she's just as important as the people around her? And I think there's a lot of power in that. And I think as a mom being a role model, it's like I have to live the way I want my daughters, you know, my daughter to live her life.
I agree 100%. Yeah, and it's, you know, it is really hard to have to, you know, they look up to you. They see what you're doing every day. They see like Victor's and I's relationship, and we really try to keep that in our household on like, the girls are watching us. They know, you know, if we do have any bickerings or like little fights, which we rarely do, but if we do, it's something stupid like, why did you put the dishes away? Like, why didn't you wash your dish after this? But it's, you know, we try to set an example for them and just let them know, you know, we're here and they can just learn from us and what we do and how we interact with people and just being a good human overall, because I feel like that's important to teach them too, because you know there's not really a lot of good energy sometimes out in the world, and you know it's just being remaining in that space where you can be a good human and just do your best and make great choices. You know, it's hard, and just showing them those things. So
my dad used to always say, kids don't do what you do. They don't do what you say, they do what you do. And like they're gonna watch, and then that's really gonna how they're gonna be shaped and molded. And I think you're, living it by an incredible example, just
Yeah.
as I was like an outsider looking
Yeah.
in, and I know that you're like trying your best, but then
Yeah.
also like having a pizzazz and like
Yeah.
zest for life too
Yeah.
is, I think, something that gets lost in the shuffle because there's so many other things, qualities that we're trying to
Yeah.
like pass on, but it's like, I want to be like a confident
Yeah.
woman that
Yes.
I can teach you to have that same confidence.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
like drive to do what you want,
Yeah.
motivation and belief in yourself that you can do what you want.
Yeah. And there's something that Victor and I also say, like, we don't, when Victoria does really well on her homework, or she read a book and she gets an award at school, we don't like to say, I mean, we do say we're proud of you, Victoria, but we kind of steer it in a way where we say you should be proud of yourself. Like, we're proud of you, but you should be so proud of yourself. You did this, like, you did that. So we try to steer from, like, I'm proud of you, and giving her the thought of like, okay, I'm doing this, they're proud of me, but she remembers to be proud of herself.
Yeah.
So we're just trying our best to implement that into her life, and just reminding her that, you're smart, you're beautiful, you can do all the things that you want, because there's going to be, a time where it makes me sad when, society will try to shut you down or tell you can't do these things. Just from growing up, like, I've had people, a lot of people tell me I couldn't do a lot of things, and I just knew, like, in my heart, like, you're telling me I can't do this, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna make this happen. So it's just reminding them that, and just preparing them for the outside world, which is so scary for me right now. Like, as a parent, like, I'm so terrified of just everything. Everything. Yeah, just society, school, just when I'm not there, like, how is she doing right now? So
well, it's hard to not have, it's like, it will always be in the back of your mind no matter what, right?
Yeah.
It's like, can we instill these qualities and values within her, like within them, to be able to navigate those situations the best way they know how, and also create trust that they can share that with me.
Yeah.
Like, or that they can, if they're having a challenging time, that they're going to be able to share it. And, like, look to you for some guidance too. I love that you said that though, because I always tell Bella how proud I am of her. But that's also because I grew up in a family that was really hypercritical. I don't think intentionally, but like, it was always like
a best way to grow.
Like, oh great, like, let's find out, like, that was okay, but like, where can you do better? It was always
like it's not enough almost. Yeah.
And so like and so with her, I'm like, that was amazing. Like, you are so fabulous.
You got this.
You got this. Like, she is probably gonna have such an inflated confidence.
Hey, we're raising the next Beyonce.
That's what I'm shooting for. You really, she says that at school to the other kids, even though, like, if another kid will do something, the teacher told me, she'll go up to him, she's like, I'm so proud of you, that was so good. And she's like,
you got it.
The teacher was like, she got all the kids, and it's so adorable. And she's like, I'm assuming you do this with her. And I was like, I do that.
Yes, that is.
Yeah, and I was like, but it's important because, I at least that was something that I don't think intentionally, I think it was always meant as like a motivating factor for me to always strive, which I think is very valuable. And I definitely feel like it's always still very much a part of who I am. But it's like, it's also nice to be like, you did good. Every once in a while, that would have been like a cool thing to hear. Because I think I have a hard time acknowledging when I do something well because of that. Because I'm like, it was okay, but like, really, if I would have tweaked these little things, like, it would have been even better. And next time I do it, I'm actually going to do it better. And like, and so, but I think, it's like, we can only do the best with what we know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Just taking all the things, what I've seen, what I've learned, and just making it my own in motherhood. And gosh, it's just a lot, but I love it. Yeah, I love it.
What would be like a piece of advice that you would have for like a new mom?
A new mom.
Or new parents in
A new
general.
parent. Okay. What, I'm trying to think back when I became a new parent. Like, what did I need, or what advice? I would say probably balance. Yeah, balance. Figuring out a balance in your life. I know it's hard, figuring out schedules, or you work a full-time job. Like, how can I balance that? Or you work a 9 to 5, you have to go into work. Not everyone has the luxury of working from home. but really trying to find balance for yourself and motherhood and figuring out all the things that make you happy and that bring you joy, that makes you feel good, because your kids are gonna see that. They're gonna see, like, is mom happy? Is she doing the things that, you know, bring her joy? And if they don't see that, it's gonna be really hard. But, and I'm also thinking, when I was a child, like, you know, my mom, like I said, she worked a lot, so there wasn't really balance that she could have. But if you really try, I feel like you can make it happen. If you can. But I would just say balancing all the things, like, for your own, like, self-love, everything, like, all the things, motivation, and all the things that you love. Try to keep doing the things that you love or bring you joy, because it's going to get hard when you're in the hustle and bustle of momhood, and it's just you're not taking time for yourself. And if you're not taking time for yourself, it's going to reflect on how you parent. Because I feel like for me, that's kind of what I went through, was everything was all over the place. And once I found balance and creating a system or a schedule, I know it's hard to stick by the schedule because things come up, but if you just try to do that, I think there will be some benefit from it, for sure.
And making the routine, allowing yourself to be a part of that routine.
Exactly. I would say that. And that everything's gonna take a breather, deep breaths. You're gonna need a few deep breaths too, because there will just be times where you're like, oh God, I cannot do this. And it's okay to have off days. Like I said, you truly need it. And it's definitely okay to DoorDash a $12
Please do.
Please do that. Just the small things. It's okay to treat yourself. Because I know in the beginning I had a lot of mom guilt of doing things like going out with friends. That was another thing too. I'm like, I should be home. Like, what am I doing? A lot of my friends didn't have kids at the time. And I'm just like, what am I doing? But it's okay to go out. It's okay to have fun and just still do those things, because you need it. You truly do. You need to have that social time and time with people that, you know, it's not just always being home and being stuck in, you know, mom life.
Because I think then it can turn resentful, you know, like, as much as you love being around that, it's like, it's balance. It is, right? So like, of course that's the priority, but like, okay, go out and have some fun. Like, have like one, like,
get wild.
4 hours where you're not thinking about like what your kids need to eat,
breakfast,
going to bed, like, you know, the laundry. It's like, you know, it's always, because otherwise I like slept asleep recently. I was like, think like mom brain while like washing the dishes. She's like, I gotta go get this, or I gotta go to the grocery store. Oh, we ran out of coffee. Like, oh, I have to do the laundry. What time did they eat? When was the last time they pooped? And it was like all these things was going through her head. And I was like, I think it's always streaming through.
It is,
but to be able to turn that off, even just for a couple of hours, it's a gift.
It is.
It is a gift.
It's so nice. And that's something that we truly miss, because like I said, we don't have family here. So when Victor's parents do, the flight's only like 2 hours from San Jose. So when she does come, or his mom or my mom, it's really nice to get that break. It's kind of like that video. So when you have to ask your parents to watch your kids in order for you to go out. I was like, what's this with you? Yeah, it's kind of like that. And it's just taking those moments to just go out, even if it's just a few hours, just to do. And you don't, it's not like going out like clubbing or anything. If it's going to the movies, going to a spa day, going to the library, going on a hike by yourself even is fine. Just taking that time to just get away and just disconnect for a little bit and then come back, and you'll just feel so much better and just refreshed. And
Exactly.
it's a lot.
And what do you like to do? Like, what are your break times?
So my break times are, well, it doesn't seem like breaks, but going to the gym is one of them. I love, like, I just loving having that moment of just working out and popping in my AirPods and just listening to music and kind of just having that time to get into like my wellness and fitness. That's a huge like thing that I just have to do.
It's very stressful.
Yes, it is. And I feel so much better after. My mood is different. I just feel lighter, and it's really just it's like a refreshing thing. And I can't believe I didn't do that years ago. Like when I discovered that, I was like, people are so right working out. Like, you need to work out. It does. I used to be working out changed my life. I feel so much. I'm used to be like, yeah, right. Eating my chips.
Sitting on the couch. You think about it, like, because it seems like it requires more effort.
It does,
but like it does. It makes you. It energizes you. It releases endorphins.
Yeah,
so many benefits.
So many things, and Yeah, I do that. When my best friend visits, we like to just spend time together, or I'll fly back home and we'll just have a night out. And just spending just quality time with other moms like you guys. I feel like I found such a great group of mom friends that, or just friends in general here that are true, genuine people that I feel have good intentions, and just surrounding yourself. Well, I found surrounding with you guys, I just feel really just great. It feels good to just be around good energy, good friends, good moms, people who support you, and doing those things. What else do I do? Gosh.
Because you're pretty creative too, though.
Yeah.
I feel like you have your creative outlet.
I do. I used to paint a lot. I used to do that. See, that's figuring out time to do that again. I mean, I wish I could, but I painted a lot. Music is a huge thing. I played cello throughout my life. So I played cello. I wish I want to buy a cello. They're just expensive.
Yeah.
My God, I looked up it like on for a used one. It's like $6,000.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. I don't, inflation. What is this?
like working out.
I'm like, yes, I'm never playing cello again.
It's that dream.
That's gone. So then I started looking into renting one, but we'll see. I would love to pick that up again and just play. And honestly, showing the girls that playing an instrument would be really cool. I don't think they've ever seen or taking them to play. That might be the next thing we do, just to see like how they would like it. But yeah, doing creative things is what I love, and just community stuff. I love meeting new people and putting myself out there. I love connecting with people. Yeah, on a deep level too. And it's just been really nice to meet new people here in Washington. So
networking, but not and that's I think a gift of yours. It's something that I don't like. I'm assuming you know this about yourself, but like I think you relate to people on a real personal and real level, and so that it opens the door for genuine connection. And I just my last part was about connection, and I think you just that's just like who you are. I think when you show up fully and authentically, people can feel that, and then that's that shift. That's the like building community around you.
I love it. I love it. That's literally like it makes me feel good, and just hearing others speak and their life and hearing their stories, like what they've been through or where they came from. I just love it. I feel like that's kind of what life is about, is just making those connections and just learning from each other, and just I feel like everyone could benefit from that. And it's just nice.
I know.
You
are such a gem.
No,
just such a bright light.
I know. That's why when you asked me to do this, I was like, absolutely, this is so fun. And we always have talks like this too, so it's nice to be on here and share that. Thank you.
Well, is there like I know you have a few different like platforms. Where can people find you if they want to connect with you?
Let's see. I do have a few platforms. I need to like.
I was gonna start. I was like,
okay, I need to choose one.
No, you don't have to choose one.
I know. Let's see. I think honestly, whichever. My personal like Instagram. I'm big on Instagram. I'm really trying to get my website down right now. I'm trying to make it more of like a community based / like wellness / motherhood kind of thing. So I'm working on that right now. But right now, Instagram probably would be number one, and my handle is a state of destiny. So like real estate, but I love thinking it. And when I thought of this, I was like, ooh, this is so catchy. Like a state of mind. Yeah. I feel like how you go about your day to day is really like, what is your state of mind right now? So it's
well, and you know that Tacoma is also the city of destiny.
I did not know that.
That's why I thought you picked it. Actually,
no, I did not.
And I was like, a state of destiny. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I know, right?
Question.
No, I literally was like, who told? I think someone I met at like Tacoma Sunday Market.
Oh, probably.
Like, and we were talking about the conversation. They just moved here from San Francisco too, and they're like, so you chose the city of destiny, and I was like, the what? They're like, this is called the city of destiny. I had to Google it. I did not know that, and I was like, Vic, that's why I truly believe how things come full circle, or like things happen for a reason. Like, we were meant to be here. Like, I was meant to come here, to move here, to meet people here. And I don't know, I take everything as a sign too. Victor's like, you need to stop with that. I'm like, this is a sign. That is a sign.
Like, is that, and now I'm curious, I know we're kind of backtracking a little bit, but like, Was that something that you always have done? Like, or did you find like more of a spiritual practice, or like have you always just been like kind of aware of what's going on around you?
For like signs.
Sense, yeah,
I don't know. I think
because you're a very intuitive person.
yeah, like I think as a kid, I definitely I don't know, I've always, I guess I was just always like this empath kid that I just felt people's energies like as a kid. I know I've watched these shows where I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if that's me, you know, where they can speak to people. I'm like, I should try that. I don't know, like this like spirit stuff.
Yeah.
I've
Do you
never
feel
really
like that is something that you're able to connect with?
I don't know, to be honest. I've always felt just like energies with people and it feels good. Like I could feel a good energy and then I feel like a bad one and I kind of like, ooh, I don't know if I want to be around you kind of thing. And I don't know, I've always been like that. And Victor's like, you need to chill. I'm like, did you feel her energy though? Like, did you do that? Did you trust the vibe? Yeah, trust the vibe. And he's like, you really need to stop. And I'm like, I'm just sad.
You know, I think men can do it too, and I know a lot of intuitive men, but I think women, like, that is our one of our superpowers. Like, we have the mother sixth sense, you're talking about your mother sixth sense, and it's like, and I think Latin, especially, there's I think it's a lot more like integrated and more talked about.
It is, yeah.
And like, I think that's also a piece of it, but so that's why I was curious. I was like, this has just always been a part of you, because I don't know if we've really talked about it very much, but I've always felt that from you.
Really?
And I believe very deeply in signs, and whenever I'm looking for something, or I have like, I don't know if you do this, but I'll choose like a color or something that is like my signpost, and like it changes all the time what that is. You always confirm, like every single time I'm around you, you will wear the color, or you'll have something, and I don't think you even notice, and I don't always tell you, but I'm always like, it's like Destiny would be doing I use that as like, it's a compass for me to be able to navigate, like, who should I spend time with, who do I need to reach out to, like, it's a good confirmation that it's not, there's, the universe is on my side in that way, and it's guiding me.
I truly believe that 100%. And I'm big on numbers too, like mine is 444.
Oh, mine's 444.
Is it really? Yeah, see, and I see it all the time. There was one day I actually sent it to Jamila in our office, because she's like, what are angel numbers? Literally in one day, I saw 444 5 times, and I texted to her that whole day. I was like, Jamila, see what I mean, Jamila? And I was like, look, here's another one. It's just constant in my life, and it's really, I don't know if I'm just seeking it or it's just there, but it's so strange. Like when I check my time, it's there. When I look at a car, all of a sudden it's right there. It's so weird.
Well, and it's like when you then, it's like you don't look at every car and it's there, but it's like when you are paying attention to it and you like look, you're like, for some reason I feel like I should look at this license plate. And you look over and you're like, and there it is.
So weird.
Yeah. Oh, it happens to me all day.
All day. Me too. Like, good. See, the universe is on our side.
Well, and like they call
the
angel numbers. It's like I think it's angels looking out for me. Four in particular is angels or guardians are looking out for you. Yeah. And like you're in alignment and they're protecting you. Yeah. And I'm always like, thanks. Like, I'll take that little light from the universe.
I will too. All day.
Did you see these when you were a kid too? Like, is this always done?
As a kid, I didn't know. I don't think as a kid, more into my high school years, and then a little bit after, and then it was just all the time into my adulthood. I was like, oh my God. And also another thing was butterflies. I know that's so like, I know everyone gets butterflies. Everyone like gets tattoos of them, everything, but whenever something significant happens, whether it's good or bad, at a very dark place I'm at a time in my life, like a monarch butterfly would fly by, and it was so strange to me. Like it was actually really spooky for one, and I'm like, it's just a coincidence, but it happened all the time. Like when I lost a family member, it happened. When like I, received good news, it happened. It was always just like, I don't know, something. It's just weird.
Like butterflies are a signal from the other side as well.
Yeah, and like so that's another thing is the butterflies and the numbers is what it is. And then Victor started, and I told him about it. I didn't tell him till later. We went on in our dating, but then I told him, and he was like, okay, like when we bought our first house and we received the news, we were at a park and literally a butterfly passes by, and I'm like, and that's when he knew, and he was like, okay, this is really weird because now it's happening to me too. Well, I'm with you. Well, now I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah. Welcome to my orbit. Like, that's
And he's just like, this is so weird. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it's tricky, it's weird. And I don't know. My mom's like, sometimes she's like, you're putting too much thought to this. And I'm like, it always happens. It just always does.
Good, like I think it's good juju. Like I think good omen. Like I can get a little bit of like a little extra help. It's like if that like affirms something.
Fly by, baby.
Fly by. Like my grandmother when she passed and right before she passed she was like, whenever you see a butterfly know that it's me. And so like that was like always like her little symbol. And we were at brunch for my birthday and like my mom, we were talking about something and I was like, I really wish grandma was here, I'm thinking of her. And literally as we said that, a butterfly flew through the middle of the table and then like flew away. And
it's
we
like
both
giving
like
me chills.
we both looked, my mom and I looked at each other, we both instantly started crying. And I was like, that was like we seriously just said, like, I wish grandma was here. We're thinking of her, and then a butterfly flies through the table. Like not just like in the background, it was like right down the center of the table, like which never anyways, and we both
That's
like
so trippy. That's like, oh my gosh.
I love it. I'm like, I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah.
Like it helps me navigate my life and a more intuitive place so that I don't, it's not up to chance. Like I personally, I don't think like people are like, this is a lot of faith. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of faith, but it's not necessarily chance. Like I'm getting these symbols that are helping me, and then this helps me keep on track.
Yeah, like, it does. It really does. It helps me so much too. Oh my gosh, it does give me chills, but it feels so nice. And it helps me just like you said, comforting and navigating through life. And I love it. Yeah.
Is there anything like, do you do anything to cultivate this within your life? Or is this just something that just comes naturally?
It just comes naturally and it just happens. Yeah. I love it. I love it though.
I was like, we all get from like the City of Destiny or the State of Destiny, which I swear when I first saw your handle, I was like, that was so smart of her. I was like, City of Destiny, State of Destiny, real estate. I was like, oh
yeah.
I think that's like intuitive, like divine insight. It was like drop that little like nugget. Like, do you ever just get thoughts in your head? Like, we're not crazy, we promise. I know. I don't know we'll hear of it. But like, do you ever get like they call them, like in spiritual community it's very common, and they call them downloads, where you just like get an idea and you're like, I don't even know where this came from, but this is like seems like a great idea and I'm just gonna go for it.
All the time.
Right? I know, it's like I have that feeling.
All the time. Victor thinks I'm like crazy. I have like ideas in just life and doing things like all the time. I told Victor, I think I meant, because when I list all the things that I do, and I get messages from people on like Instagram, like, how do you do it all? Like, how do you do all these things? I'm like, I don't know. I just do it. Because I have a passion for things. I enjoy it. I love it. Like, I just feel like everything is like an art form. And I truly enjoy it. They're like, how do you find the time and energy? And I'm like, I just love it. I don't know. I do it. And it's just
think twice about it.
I know. I've always been like that. As a kid, like I said, I feel like I kind of lived in La La Land for a long time. Sometimes I feel like I still do, but I don't care. It keeps me going.
I am living in paradise.
This is my bubble. Get out. Like, I know. It's just what I've always been like that. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I was like, I admire because it wasn't, I would say it was always really intuitive as a kid, and I always had gut hunches about things, like, and those definitely like saved me quite a few times, especially with people or just scenarios or different things. But then as I got older, once I started doing more meditation and yoga and all of that, that's where it really like blossomed, because then I was like, oh whoa. And but then I realized there was this whole spiritual community that like that was very integrated into everything that they would do and say, and like all the practices and Buddhism and like all this, and I was like, whoa. And then that's when my mind really got blown. So did you have a moment like that for you, or do you just feel like this is just kind of like life as you know it?
I think just as far as I can remember, like as a kid, this was just how I chose to live life. And also, there were some moments where it was a little bit darkness, and I think that's why I come from. Like, I'm always like trying to be in the light, because there were things that were dark in my life that I just felt like I needed to do this, not only for myself, but for others too. There was just a lot of moments where I was like, I have to do this for others. Like, I have to be happy, not be happy, but be in a positive space, like for others. And it just made me happy knowing that this is how I felt in my bubbly self, but it did feed off for others, like when they were in a dark spot. So
I think it gives it's a symbol of hope.
yeah, yeah.
Right? Like even if you don't mean it to, it's like,
Yeah.
let me give a little joy to this person
Yeah.
that might not have any other joy in their life at all.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing what the dark times are?
Oh, yeah, dark times.
Like,
Oh
yeah,
gosh.
you don't have to get them if you don't want to. So
Yeah,
that wasn't
no.
necessarily the topic we were
Yeah, no. I mean, just growing up, it was really hard. You know, oh gosh, it might get a little too deep, but my family, we experienced a lot of poverty. Like we were homeless for a long time. My dad, like in 2007, he lost his job. We lost our house. We slept on floors for a long time at my grandma's house. Yeah, it was really rough. At the time as a kid, I didn't know, I didn't understand. We thought it was fun. It was like a slumber party on the ground, but there was a while where it was like that, and it was a struggle. From even my mom, that's when she wasn't working at the time. That's when she had to get two jobs, but just being at home with us and providing food, there were times where, you know, there wasn't food in our fridge. So one of my aunts helped us out a lot. And then my mom relied a lot on state services like food stamps, things like that. So it was really rough, like growing up and switching schools a lot was hard, making friends, but I always knew, like, again, like doing all that, like I knew starting a new school, I knew, you know, people who, like, right when I met them, I was like, okay, this is a good person and this could be my friend, which I had very few. I was the type that had like different groups of friends. And I know, like, in high school, everyone's like this one big group of friends, but me, like, I had friends in theater, I had friends in like orchestra, I had friends that were like in sports, so I always had different friend groups, little pockets. So that was hard, doing that, and then just navigating life of being like going back to being that grown-up sister was really hard. My mom, you know, as much as I love her, she was really like that strong-willed personality of a Latina mom. So very strict. I wasn't allowed to go out in high school. I wasn't allowed to like dye my hair, cut my hair, which was, I think, is so strange. I don't know why. She'd always say, "Your hair's so long and beautiful, leave it." But I always wanted. That's why I cut it. Like maybe last year. That's my first time chopping it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I've always like, you have my hair long. Like, this is beautiful. This is the look. And literally last year, I was like, I'm gonna get a bob and chopped it. So did that, felt great. I was like
liberating.
I was so strange, and because I just truly feel like having long hair isn't. I don't know. I was always told like, you have beautiful long hair, and I was like, I'm gonna chop this shit. What is it now?
well, it's like I'm still beautiful even if I don't have long hair. I was very. The first time I ever had my hair short, I did like 2 years ago, that was the first time I ever cut it too, and it's because I had this idea in my head that I wouldn't. I don't know.
It's like, what is it? Long hair for why? I don't know. And I was like, if I don't like it, I'll just wear a wig. But I liked it.
I love it. I was like, so many people sat there like, I would never picture you with long short hair, but like, it looks really good. And now it's like, I'm growing it back out. Yeah, I was like, I'm growing back out, and I'm like, do I even want to?
That's what I'm in now. That's why it's in a bun, because I'm like, I want to chop it again. Like, let me just do it again.
Well, but then I think just kind of like facing and in all honesty, it was like kind of a fear for me to cut my hair that short, because I was like, that's a part of my identity. And so now that I'm removing that, like, am I going to be okay with it? Fitting you. So your mom, it sounds like she was very much an influence with it.
So, and you know, growing up in a very strict household, I wasn't allowed to, you know, go out anywhere, go out with friends. So like if there would be like a school party, and I get it because my mom's line of work with social services, she saw all these crazy sad things. So
she was trying to protect you.
She was, but that's where I'm like, okay, now I get it. But at the time, I wish she probably would have interpreted it differently. Because at the time it was like, you don't let me live my life. You don't let me go out anywhere. I can't have any fun. And it'd always be like, because I said so, or you know, she would say, I'm trying to protect you, but at the time I'm like, from what? But now as an adult, I understand there are scary things out there. There's people that are trying to harm kids, and I get it now. And now I'm a mom. I'm like,
all the missing kid reports. Like, I can't.
It stresses me out, and I get it now. And I apologize. I should call my mom right now and apologize.
Call her after.
I know, I probably will. And it's just, it was really hard too. Because, you know, when you're a teenager, you want to go out with friends. You want to go to the movies. You want to go to dances and proms. Like
Could you not go to dances?
I know there, and my mom would make, yeah, I mean, there was a few times she let me, but my older brother had to really convince her. He's like, I'm gonna pick her up, I'll wait there, I'll drop her off, like, I'll be there. It was a lot. And I used to cry because, you know, you want to pick out the dress, you want to go with your friends, you want to do all these things. And I think it wasn't until like prom and I was about to be 18. She's like, fine, like go ahead. But she would also make up excuses. She would say like, you can't go to the dances unless you like clean your room. I would have my room spotless and clean, but she would say like, the books are not like put perfectly. You can't go. And it's just like, I wish she would have just told me, you know, I don't want you to go, I'm scared. Like there are things that can happen, but at the time she would just make like those kind of excuses. Like
it feels unfair.
Yeah, it feels very unfair.
And controlling.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. And I know like my mom, you know, she has that controlling, I would say style or parenting
more
style.
authoritative.
Yeah, she definitely had that, but I know it comes from a good place, but it was, I perceived it as like not in a good way.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and I think as a teenager, like hanging out with your friends, and especially when it sounds like you switched schools quite a few times, like that's how you solidify relationships and friendships is outside of the classroom. You know, it's like going over to people's houses, going out doing like other stuff. And
now I don't think I've ever victoriously did. I'm just like, I can't. Now I get it.
I don't really want it. I know it's like, I was just thinking about that. I was like, once that time comes to do sleepovers, like I'll like family fine, but like outside of family,
maybe someone maybe.
I feel like 50-50.
I'm with her friends, maybe not.
I know, but it's like it's one of those things where you recognize now, like because you're not there, you know, and like to be able to really trust
and protect
wherever.
her. I just always want to be there.
But
I know.
But and then so overcoming, coming out of that. So then once you went to college, was it kind of like a free for all?
Yeah, a little bit. See, that's when I was exposed to freedom. So I kind of went buck wild during those times.
That happens. I know that's usually how it goes.
That's where I'm just like, this is how it works. I went for sure. I let loose. That's how it was. And it felt really nice, but also, you know, then there were things that happened in that time where I'm like, shit, this is why you can't be out. You have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to be careful who you surround yourself with, because people who you think you're friends really aren't your friends. And that was a hard lesson as well. We should do another one on that, on friendships.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like finding, you know, and I just talked to my one girlfriend from high school. We went and did deep dive of friendships last week. So it's like, how do you cultivate deep friendships? People that you actually trust, that like want the best for you and there for you, and like also they're not just saying that to just, you know, for
make you feel better, or like, is it coming from a good place?
What are their intentions? You know, I know it's like such like a dad thing, like what are your intentions? But it's like, but what are your intentions?
Really?
And like,
it's true. It's just, it's a scary world. And throughout college, it was hard navigating that too. And I just feel like everything was like a lesson learned for sure.
Well, and you have such an open heart that I could see it being like, and you're like, why would I assume the worst in anyone? Like, I'm assuming the best in people. And like, I think there's a beauty in that. But also, sadly, there's a lot of people that are willing to take advantage of people that are willing to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's happened to me a few times. And that's why now it's, you know, that before I was a mom, that's all the things that would happen. But now as a mom, obviously you cut back on I'm not going out and surrounding myself with people or putting myself in a place where I could be in danger, or with people who have bad intentions. Now everything I do, I move in a way like, okay, how can this, not only will this affect me, how will it affect my children? How will it affect like my family and my day-to-day? Like, so I really pick and choose now, like who I surround myself with, and
being careful about it.
Being very careful about it, because there are just some people where I'm like, ooh,
they got some darkness in them, you know. And I think we all are naturally light, and like that is truly where I think, you know, we are love. That's what I think humans are like stem from. That is our natural and innate state. But people got trauma. People have some shit, and like they hurt people. And I always like I say that, but it's like that's not to dismiss that, but it is to recognize they learn that behavior from something, and I don't necessarily know what, but like but like that doesn't necessarily mean I have to be a victim to it. I can also protect myself from that. And I've been very, you know, I like to go out every once in a while. It's like I was very wild I was the youngest of four.
So you're the baby.
I was the baby. So then all hands were off, and like the fact that they weren't regulating anything that I was doing. And I was like always very like, well spoken. So I'd be like, oh, I'll be fine. Like, I'm not even doing anything. What do you mean? And like, I'm just going with my friends.
Sorry, mom.
Sorry, we've talked about it since. Like, I haven't fully included my dad. I don't think he wants to know.
Oh,
He's
no.
very much like an old
Dad,
man.
don't watch this.
No, he won't. Dearly, but he really trusts. I appreciate that because he was like, as long as you're honest with me, I don't care.
Okay.
And he like knew like my 18th birthday. He was like, I'm gonna go to like I lived with my parents were split, so I lived with him for half a week, and then we got
gotcha.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And my 18th birthday, which was on a Saturday, maybe it was my 17th birthday. He was like, I'm gonna go to Canada, which is where his girlfriend lived. Okay. And he was like, I'm going to leave for the weekend, and I was like.
And you were how old?
I was at 17, 18. So I was like, she knows my birthday.
How long?
I was like cheerleading for like 3 days. And I was like,
what time?
I was like, so I'm gonna like you have to know I'm going to party.
Oh god.
So he did. So like he knew.
Yeah.
And, like, but he was like, and I remember he came home, but it was actually one of the best parties of the year. But I'm
just envisioning, what's that movie? Oh god.
Oh no, in Project X.
Yeah.
When I didn't like clean everything, he was like, I gave you the opportunity. At least you could have done is made sure to clean up.
Oh god.
Like it's there was like caps and bottles.
You're like, you should be proud of me.
Cushions. Like, why would that be there? I don't know. I'm sorry. But but I was the wild. I wasn't wild. I was always a calculated risk. I was talking to my best.
But I feel like that's like normal though. Like that's teenage. You're living your teenage life
within this sheltered environment. Yeah, that was the beauty of it. I feel very grateful that I was able to live that life because then when I got older, where I was in college, where it was even more like then it was like I didn't new people, new surroundings, all the things like. I had my head on a swivel because I was like, you don't do this, you don't do, and like all my girlfriends that were around me, like I was the one that was like. I don't like that guy. Don't talk to him. He's fucking creepy. Yeah. Like, God knows what he's done to other girls.
You're probably right.
Yeah, and I was like, and I don't know why I would feel that, but we'd talk about it, and then, but then it was like we would also like go out and do things, but like thank God I had girls that taught me. I was younger and like carried that on, and so we were able to like be there for each other.
Love it.
But nonetheless, now that I'm at this stage of my life, like when I do, like I'm very like I'm aware of what's going on around me, and I'm like, okay, calculated risk. I can do these things and like
scan the room. Nope. Yes, maybe.
Yeah. And like, but then when I find the people that like, like I would say instantly when I met you, and like certain people, when I find the people, I'm like, I'm like, and like I want to be around you more. And I don't know why I can't put a finger on it, like, but I don't care.
Yeah, it's just a feeling.
And it's like, and then that's to get trust, to be able to trust your instincts. I feel like is so important, and like it's definitely something that's over time I've gotten better about. But I also made a hell of a lot of mistakes, and I still do like throughout that time. But now I'm just a lot more selective.
Yes.
I don't like as open as I am. I'm a lot more guarded than I probably have ever been my entire life. And I don't think I ever before I would just like willingly like pour into anything.
But now
it's like I have to be selective. But also as a mother and with everything else going on in life, I only have so much time within my day and like energy, and I want to show up fully for the things that I do.
Exactly.
So
I love that. I agree 100%. It's like you come into like mama bear mode where it's like you gotta protect like this circle, and like anyone who like disrupts or you feel like just isn't a good fit or energy, it's like automatically. Is it bad though? I'm assuming you too, where it's like you just don't even give them the time of day because you know it's just not gonna work out. It's just like friendships wise, relationship wise, just anybody wise, client wise, like I can't do this. Like
I know, like I trust my body's responsible. Like if I don't feel it, it's like I don't mean to be dismissive, but it's just more of like
sorry.
Like smile. I'm gorgeous. I'm light.
Yes.
Like,
sorry, we can't do this.
Dating, but and I don't know, almost instantaneously. And sometimes I'll pour in a little bit, but the moment now, because I also used to like give people passes, and this is also within relationships. I've bypass things. I'm like, oh, it's not that big a deal, and I ignore red flags. Like, no. You got 3 red flags, you're out.
Yeah.
Friendship, relationship, professional, all of it. It's
Yeah.
like,
I agree.
I trust that people's actions are gonna speak louder than anything else.
Yeah.
And if you do me wrong, I know.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
And you get that.
You're so done. Like,
I know.
I love it though. Is it bad cutting just people off like that? It's just, I'm just like, I can't, and I'm good. I'm just like, I'll say hi. I can't do it. There's no space for me.
No, I don't want it, and I don't have to.
It feels good though. I used to
It's
not
a
be like
boundary.
that.
It's
It
a boundary.
is,
It's
yeah.
learning how to set boundaries.
Yeah.
Boundaries is a form of self-care. At least I think it's a form of
I
self-care.
think so too.
And I think, and then recognizing who you want to be around your family and around your children, and also like the examples, because then you have to see like, which I always think about is like, people that are around Bella are gonna help shape who she is too, you know, and if she looks up to them and she respects them, like, who do I want her to be around, and like to help mold, you know, it does take a village. She's gonna learn a little bit from each person. One of my girlfriends just like said, she was like, Bella was like, should we say grace? Which I think she must do with her accent.
Bella said that?
Yeah, and I was like, do we say grace now? And my friend said this like the most ratchet school. I looked at her. I was like, don't teach her that. And she goes, come on. We were like laughing about it, but afterwards I was like, you know, but those are things that I do want her to learn, you know, like recognizing those little drops, like that's going to build into like the wholeness of who she is. And like even when I'm not paying attention, maybe not when I notice, like those are all gonna contribute to her. And so like I'm very, and all the things I do too, like I always say I can't do anything that I wouldn't want her not to do, or that I would be concerned about. I think about that sometimes, but I think I don't know. I have the feeling Bella's gonna be the wild child.
I know.
I'm gonna get a whiplash of karma on it, and she turned 16. But
I know. I have a friend. She actually was our neighbor when we lived in Silicon. And her daughter, we were all there for a barbecue just recently last weekend. And her daughter, I think she's 17 or 16. And she brought over her boyfriend for the first time. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, her name's April, my friend. And I was like, April, I don't want to be at this stage of like,
I don't want to
do this. I don't, because he walked in the door and he's I forgot his name, but he puts his hand out and he grabs my friend's hand like that. She goes, you're gonna have to reshape my hand with purpose. And I was like, oh no, I'm witnessing. Because he was like, that's a life lesson. That's a life lesson. He really doesn't even do that. I was like, actually, that's what. And she's like, you better come over here and shake my hand the way you're supposed to. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, and like did it the right way. And he's like, I'm so and so. And I was like, oh my God. And I just see Carmen as the daughter. Oh, sorry, Carmen. I'm just watching it. Oh yeah, don't watch this. She was just so like nervous but excited, and I was like, it was so cute to see because that's such a far stage that I'm at, like for that, and I'm like, God, I could wait, please, like I don't want to be at this stage yet because she's just so sweet, and then she's like, okay, well, you guys can hang out in the living room with us.
Will that be going up to her room?
No, absolutely not. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like what it's like. I remember like, oh my God, like I'm going back as a teenager and it was giving me anxiety because I remember like doing things like that and like having, like I said, the strict parents so we could only hang out, which I believe is true. Yes, the living room is the only place you can hang out. Or outside, but I'm outside too.
I was there. I brought one boyfriend. I was like seriously dating him for like over a year, and after a year, I introduced him to my friend.
Oh, you were a grown woman then. Mine was like a week, and I'm like, Mom, this is my husband.
Oh, really? I was scared enough. Like my dad didn't look him in the eye a single time. Didn't even ask for his name, and he literally was like, "You're not gonna last," and was like, "I'm gonna need you to leave." Asked him to leave. I was like, "Oh my God."
You're like, "He's the one."
I didn't but now I reckon he was like, he's not a real man. I don't need him in my face. And I was like, oh God, this is what I'm introduced to.
I know.
But it's like, but you recognize, like, they know.
They do. And he was a really sweet, my friend, he was really sweet. But I was just like, God, I don't want to be at this stage as a mom yet. Like it just, and then I looked at Victoria, because Carmen has a younger sister, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. Stay like this, playing outside. So
Robert also.
I know. So back to when you said Bella's a teenager, or when she is a teenager, I just can't imagine that time. I'm just like, oh God, I'm scared.
And you know, they always say enjoy every stage as it is, and like
watching them grow.
Oh yeah, I'd like right after I gave birth, I was laying there and I was like, I have this feeling Bella's gonna be like a hell of a teenager.
Yeah.
And Kyle was like, I just had like a premonition of it. And Kyle was like, why would you do that?
She's
He's
like fresh out the womb.
Yeah,
I know.
she was like, tops a week. And I was like, I just know this. I feel this within my soul so much. And I was like, I'm just gonna be friends with you. I was like, because I knew she's gonna be a strong-willed child, and so then, and she is, and I knew that, and so then I was like, she's my little Aries baby, and you're an Aries too. I know you are like a well-behaved Aries.
I think sort of.
I was like, I only know wild Aries.
Sort of. I was wild. I don't know. I think maybe I still am. I don't know, but maybe I've come down a bit. Yeah. But I was wild for sure.
No. Well, you get to it, but your mom was probably so strict with you.
Yeah.
Like
It was hard to be wild, but
yeah. You could have rebelled probably a little
I
bit
think
more.
so. Like I've never snuck out ever.
You never snuck out?
Never, because I had the fear my mom was gonna whoop my ass. Never did. I was like, I will sleep happily like in my bed to avoid any kind of yelling.
The
Anything.
repercussions that would be correct.
No, my friends would be knocking on my window, and I'm like, can't do it. I close my blinds, and they're like, Dad, come on, let's go.
No,
I never
come
snuck
over and try to
Yes,
sneak out with you.
all the
No
time.
way.
My mom would yell at them, and she's like, "Those aren't your friends. They're trying to get you to sneak out." And I'm like, "I told them not to come,
Mom, I told them that's fine. I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my house was like the hangout spot because my mom was like, "All your friends can come here. You
Like
can't
that
go
too.
there." So
Yeah.
which I feel like that's gonna be me. Honestly,
Yeah, I like that.
so yeah, we all my friends would come over my house and just hang out. We'd all be in the living room. We had a hot tub. Like it was like, but my mom was always there. Like,
It's kind of
like,
supervised.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I never once snuck out.
Wow.
I know. Did you? You're like,
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
Dad?
No, well, I'm sorry, Dad.
yeah.
He was a great father. He was
Yeah.
really good, but he gave me a lot of freedom. What my dad always said was, if you have good grades, if you
Okay.
are in extracurricular activities,
Yeah.
that you don't get nothing happens with the police,
Yeah.
and
the law,
and you
okay.
tell me the truth if I ask you questions. You can pretty much do what you want. Was kind of my mom was super strict. My mom was very much not that way, but my
Okay.
dad, and so I moved in with my dad when I was in high school.
See?
Naturally, so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, so I don't have to
More
actually
freedom, yeah.
more freedom. And so my dad would go to bed at 8 and he would go to work at 4 a.m.
Oh.
So it was
okay.
kind of like he would go to bed like 7, 8. So he would work
Okay.
the morning shift for Boeing.
Yeah.
So essentially, I, in my mind,
Set your alarm at 3 a.m.
I was like, no, it's like that was my 3 a.m. was my curfew.
Oh, got you.
So I would go, I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. I'll be back before you have to go to work in the morning. Of course.
4 a.m.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
So I was rolling around,
running the street,
running the goddamn street all the fucking time. All the time. I was literally the party girl in my high school. No, I was like, I was a little bit of a, I was
yeah.
and so I would drive everyone around and I would like drop everyone off before 3 a.m.
Before their mom stuff too back then.
I'd be like,
Get out.
I know, all my friends had snuck out. I would be like 2 blocks down the street waiting for them to like come around the corner, hop in, we go pick everybody up, we go, I would then know all the
That
parties.
sounds so fun now.
I would go to all the parties,
Yeah.
and we'd like we go to at least 2 or 3, and then go to all the parties, and then I'd be like back at my dad's before 4 a.m. Which like no party's going on past that anyway.
I
So,
know.
like, well, now, but like not in high school. So I was like, by 3 a.m. we were wrapping it up, and then
That's
I'd
like what I do now, or like in my
I
20s.
told you I was ahead of my time, and I did. So that's why I was like, oh god, I shared that I was feeling back
I
there.
know.
But I think because of that, I learned a lot of good lessons. Always buddy system. I never
Yeah.
went anywhere alone. I always
That's
had a
so
girlfriend
good.
with me, and like,
That's so good.
never drive drunk, never drove. Like,
Yeah.
I never would drink and drive. Like, I was
Yeah.
always very aware of that. And if I was
You're
drinking, like,
responsible.
I was very responsible for
Good.
that because I saw what could go wrong. And I also
Yeah.
had friends that went to jail. I had friends that got in car accidents. I got
Yeah.
friends that,
You're
you know,
learn, yeah.
I learned very quickly. My sisters were, I was the youngest of 4. My sisters were even, they lived a different life than me, and they, you know, got pregnant young and had all these other things occur. So I was like, I don't want to deal with any of that because I want my independence. I don't want my dad harping on me about where I'm at. I don't want to have to like get in trouble at school. I wanted to go to college. I've always been really driven. I always had goals. So I was like, and so I knew if within this reign, I could like, or within this realm, I could get away with some stuff. And so I just stayed within that calculated risk. So like my best friend I talked to last week, she was one of those people that I would be like, and she was like, you were so fearless though. Like you would always be that girl that would be like, oh, we can do this, don't worry about it. Like we just gotta, we can't like, but I trust my intuition. Like back then, if there was a party that I was like, I don't know, I have this weird feeling I'm gonna go. I would leave and the party would get busted. Like, and so I'm like, okay, cool, happy I left that one. Or like I would, I don't know. I
just like little things that you would notice. Pick up on or
or like if they were at a party and there was like a weird dude that was there, I was like, oh no, this guy's like, and then he would end up like taking a drunk girl back into a bedroom. You know, like it was always like, you know, I'm grateful I didn't have any of those experiences, like anything that was super traumatic. You know, I had things, weird things happen, everyone does, but like for where it could have been, you know, or I had like, if I was drinking that night and like I had a couple of girlfriends I was with that weren't, we always had one sober person. That was always like how we were, like one person had to be sober out of the group. So then if we were somewhere, like one of us would have our wits about us to be able to make sure we got safe or like we were fine.
I love it. See, you're a responsible teenager.
I was
ish.
I was like, I don't know, like then I think of like, no,
no,
like. Maybe. Can I imagine her like that even happening? Like no, but I'm so great. That's why I was like, I feel like I've always had angels looking up for me. Because like I was, but like I also grew up in a university place, which as we know is like super sheltered. So like if cops did come, they'd be like, do you guys go to Curtis? And we'd be like, and they'd be like, all right, you guys get home safe. You know, stay out of trouble. I don't want you guys coming over here anymore. And so then we would all leave and like so like I think I have these like honestly like I like guides were always watching out and I just was able to, so then by the time I went to college I was like I was like nothing like
was there done that
I was like don't do that don't do that and then I had in the other core group I always had a really good group of girlfriends that were around me that we would always watch out for each other like
so good. That's
we weren't
important to have.
It is, and like I just, I'm immensely grateful that to say that
I know
I was out in those streets.
Wild. Everybody in the streets. I know, and part of me too. Maybe why I didn't sneak out. My brother used to with his friends, and my mom used to do crazy shit. She would put like to see, because she also would go to sleep, have to wake up at a certain time and leave. She'd put like a glass, like something like this around the doorknob. So when he would come home late at night he would open the door, it would shatter on the ground.
Smart.
Yeah, she would wake up. You're like, I was like, well, she put like a glass cup on the doorknob. So when he would come home, it would shatter. And I'm like, you're such a dumbass. Like you literally, like this happened to you once. Why are you doing it again? Like, and so I would see that and I would just hear my mom go buck wow, like yelling at him, like, what do you think you are driving and doing all this stuff and being? And that's probably a huge part why I was like, not gonna deal with that. I'm good. No, I got enough other stuff that she cares about, not dealing with that. So yeah, it was just wild.
Well, it's like, listen, I think all childhoods and every like parents, like they're, you know, that was destiny. You know? Like how that was set up, and probably maybe potentially, who knows? Protected you from some things that could have been more extreme.
I truly believe that.
Also, for normal over here, it probably postponed it.
Probably. Oh God.
I don't know.
Yeah. My mom, like she had my brother, I think she was 15. Oh, so she was a young mom.
That's why she knew.
She knew. And her parents are also like my grandparents. They were working all the time, so she was out running the streets, doing all the things, and so she knew. She was just trying to protect us, but again, her parenting was just very hard, but came from a good place. So.
And that's all we can, and I think we integrate that into our lives, how we parent, and then that's how we feel the generations. I feel like healing those generational like traumas and like curses to a certain extent. Like it's like we can do the best with what we can, and I think once we truly do actually do the best we can with what we know, that's how then
Yeah.
we evolve as a generation,
Yeah.
generationally, but also like as a human race. you know?
Yeah.
I want my, I think we're meant to have these little more evolved little girls that can like go into the world with confidence and vigor to be able to go after what they want and to believe that they can do it because like they've seen a mother, a strong role model do it, and also they believe in themselves. And that is like the greatest gift I think I could give Bella.
I think we're doing a good job.
I think we're doing a great job.
I think we both are. You are too. Yeah. I'm trying. Me too. I'm trying every day.
Every day.
Every day.
So the only thing I can hope for is that she isn't out in the road or out in the streets in the middle of the night. I know I said that now. I'm like, this is gonna be such a karma's a bitch when she gets older, but
I know.
it's okay. It's all gonna be all right.
When we get there, we'll see.
I know. I'll keep you posted.
I know.
15 years or no,
I know.
10
Like
years,
episode
11 years
now.
from now.
Or 11 years.
11 years from now. We'll see. Okay. We could probably continue as we did.
I know, we
just
probably
chatting
here
about
for
this.
hours.
Really went on such a detour. and I was
6
like,
hours.
let's go into the darkness. Like every time back out. But I adore you. Thank you so much.
Thank
again.
you. Yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun.
And
I love talking about stuff like this and going deep. Yeah.
So they can find you on Instagram at A State of Destiny. And then you also have another sunrise.
Yeah, my personal Destiny Sunrise.
Destiny Sunrise. Okay.
Yeah, those two.
And then also you have like Crocs.
Oh,
and like the other things.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So the Rose and Violet Co. is another thing. We're actually going to transition that store into thrifted home decor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So this Tacoma Sunday Market, actually this Sunday, we're going to start steering away from charms because that's something that I did as a side hustle during COVID, which I did not think was going to take off. I started on Etsy and Amazon, and I think I'm like 13,000 sales right now.
No way.
Yeah, just on charms. I do. Thank you. It was interesting. I just posted one because first of all, I shared my croc charms and they were like, where'd you get those? I was like, I made these. Like some of them I designed on my iPad and then the other ones are generic croc charms.
Yeah.
So it just took off. So Rose and Violet Co is our charm Instagram where they can find us, but I don't know, maybe I'll still stick with it. I'm not sure. I'm thinking of doing a real estate charm theme kind of thing, which I think would be cute.
Yeah.
But it's just something fun that I did just for extra, how do I say it, another source of income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diversify your income.
Yep.
Like streams, multiple streams of revenue.
Yeah. And we would just use that for like vacations.
Yeah.
Like vacation money. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and like mompreneur to the fullest. But I think when you see a opportunity to be able to seize it, and then it is what it is, and then you go from there.
Literally, and I love it. I love trying new things. It's just
you little pioneering spirit.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. A little too much, but
all right. Well, connect with her. She's just also an incredible human being and so sweet and fun and like creative and just like light of this world. You really do.
Are you? I love you. Oh, thank you. You're seriously the best.
It's time we gotta chat.
I know. To me, like when I met you, same thing. Like you said, I was just like, you just feel this good energy. I think I really felt it at the day of the our retreat. That retreat that we went to in our office.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, like you really brought this light. And I was like, I already knew that, like from when I first met you, but like it was really cool to see you open up like that. It was nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't distinctly remember, but I try to be
just your authentic self. You're just
you,
and I love that. And I feel that sense, and it's rare to meet people like that. So,
but you were that's just like when I was like, she's well in our office. I think is a special breed. Jasmine, I think embodies it too.
Yeah,
she's just such like she's a badass. There's no doubt about it. But like she's like the kindest, most like soft-hearted person at the same time too. And like I just am so grateful the moment I met her. I just knew that she was going to be a part of my life.
Yeah,
I wanted a female mentor, and I just found that. So
I know.
Well, thank you all for listening in. If you're still here, thanks for joining us for the chat. All over the place as we do though. It's totally a way that can be casual and natural, and also we're human. So we're just like talking about life. If you have any questions or thoughts on this particular podcast, feel free to share it. Like and subscribe on whatever platform that you're listening to. Helps me get more views and just to be able to connect with all of you and spread on a wider scale. And if you're connecting on YouTube, which is at Ferracino, which is my YouTube, if you want to watch the video of this, feel free to join there. And also you can find me on the gram at Ferracino, FERRAHCHINO. That's where I'll be. And I hope to see all of you soon. Thank you again.
Bye.
See ya.